Okay, so let us look at this. What are the adaptations of rice plants, okay, for the wet environment? Because we do know that the rice, we plant them, we always grow them in these paddy fields. Okay, when talk about paddy field, basically means that the fields where the ground is intentionally flooded. So it purposely make it wet. Okay, what's so good about this? Because the rice, they are able to tolerate with this kind of environment, but the wheat, so means that those the unwanted plant, the weeds here, they might, if you plant it in the dry conditions, okay, when they plant it in the dry conditions, they still can survive, but they have to compete with the weeds. But we plant the rice in these flooded paddy fields, means that weeds may not be able to grow well to compete with the rice. Okay, so most plants cannot grow in deep water, okay, because the roots do not obtain sufficient oxygen to carry out aerobic respiration. Okay, so if the leaves are submerged, then photosynthesis also cannot take place, okay, because there's not sufficient carbon dioxide. But the rice plants do have the ability to adapt to these conditions. So let us look at what are the adaptations first, okay. So first, the rice respond to the floodings by growing taller, okay, due to what? They have these hormones known as the gibberellin or gibberellic acid, GA, okay. So these hormones called gibberellic acid, this gibberellic acid actually will have the ability to make the stem elongate with the higher rate. So this GA or gibberellic acid can cause the stem elongation. Okay, so means that's when you start to plant it, okay, let's say try to imagine, this is the area where the planet submerged in the water. So your rice. So when it start to grow, it grow very, very fast. Are you clear? It grow very, very fast because they do have this gibberellic acid to make the stem elongations, okay? So as the water rise around them, so they keep growing upwards so that the top part of their leaf and the flower spikes are always housed above the water. This allows oxygen and carbon dioxide to be exchanged through the stomata on the leaf. So they make sure that the leaf always above the water level. So before their height is above the water, they continue to grow. So some plants, some paddy field variety, they can grow up to 10 centimeter per day. You imagine, 10 centimeter per day actually is very, very fast. Are you clear? But they won't continue to grow. They won't continue to grow until they will continue to grow. Sorry, they'll continue to grow until moments where the leaf actually out of the the water. Okay, so at first they carry out anaerobic respiration. So because of anaerobic respiration, it trigger the stem elongations. Okay, so try to imagine initially. Okay, initially you plant them here, so submerge, right? So anaerobic respiration. So then they start to grow. So once they grow and the leaf is generated like this and germinated the leaf already, so means that the leaf can give the oxygens already. Cannot oxygen can enter. So therefore that they reduce the anaerobic respiration. So slow down the stem elongations. Okay, for farmer don't like that, means that the stem to be very, very tall, right? Are you clear? For farmer, you try to imagine if the plant is very tall, it's susceptible for the wind destruction. So try to imagine that the heavy rain, I mean, it's a strong wind blow, you're going to make the plant actually collapse. Are you clear? Okay. GA stand for the GA here stand for gibberellic acid. Okay, or gibberellin is a kind of hormone. You're going to learn this one in A2. Okay. Gibberellin, G-I-B-B. You suddenly ask me to spell. Gibberellin. Okay, gibberellin or gibberellic acid. Okay, gibberellic acid. Sorry. Okay, Ga. Okay, gibberellin or gibberellic acid. Okay, they are hormones that cause the plants to elongate. Okay, stem elongation. Okay, so the stem of the rice plant contain these loosely packed cells, okay, termed as forming a tissue called Aranchyma. Now look at this one as Aranchyma. You can see that this is the stem of the rice plants. Okay, you can see the vascular bundle here, the stem, and they have a lot of this airspace. So this airspace actually allows the uninterrupted diffusions of the gas. Are you clear? From the leaf all the way to the root. So it means that this is the leaf. So this Aranchyma will connect, okay, from the leaf all the way to the root, because their roots cannot obtain sufficient oxygen. Correct? Submerged. So imagine this is the water level. Okay, so it means that the O2 oxygens can diffuse into the leaf, from the leaf go through this Aranchyma and all the way go to the root. So it means that the root can get sufficient oxygens to carry out aerobic respirations. Are you clear? So thanks to who? Thanks to this Aranchyma. Aranchyma provide uninterrupted diffusion pathway for O2. Okay, now always remember, not CO2, okay, for the root, because roots, they won't carry out photosynthesis. Okay, the root only carry out respiration. So means that they need O2. So when they need O2, who supply O2? Because their root is submerged under the water. So means that they have insufficient oxygen. So in order to increase the volume of the oxygens, okay, that can reach to the roots, so they have this Aranchyma, okay, loosely packed cells. Okay. So these gases are able to diffuse through the Aranchyma to other part of the plant, including the roots that are under the water. So what kind of gas? Write down, guys. Students always confuse that, thinking that the plant, the root will carry out photosynthesis, which is not correct. So what they do, so O2 diffuse to the root, CO2 diffuse out of the roots. Okay. Now next. So the leaf, okay, if you check the leaf, the leaf is corrugated. So it means that the surface is not actually they're hydrophobic and corrugated. So it means that the surface is not totally flat. The surface, you can see corrugated like this of the leaf. Okay, so when corrugated means that if there are water droplets won't actually, can I see that? They're hydrophobic, the water droplets won't be able to stay there. Okay, and also even stay there, you have the space for the oxygens to diffuse in and CO2 to diffuse out. Okay, so corrugated, but this is not so important because during, for example, you can see that they need to have a high O2, so they can't afford to have the blockage at their stomata. Are you clear? Okay, it's different from other plants, because other plants, okay, their roots are not submerged. But now I want to have O2 diffuse in, and yet water molecules, or this what we call water droplets, block the stomata. Okay, so in this case, they are corrugated and hydrophobic. Water droplet won't be able to stay there, and also won't be able to block. Okay, so the leaf hold a thin layer of the air in contact with the leaf surface. So therefore, the water won't be able to stay there and blocks the stomata. Okay, and the root also produce this alcohol dehydrogenase. Now, this is the part that students always confuse. Now, alcohol dehydrogenase, as I said, that they have a variety of the alcohol dehydrogenase. One of these, they are termed as ethanol dehydrogenase, that converts the ethanol, okay, into ethanol. Okay, so we have this ethanol dehydrogenase. Are you clear? But the roots of the rice plant have another kind of ethanol dehydrogenase, alcohol dehydrogenase, to break down the ethanol. So means that they can continue to carry out anaerobic respiration if O2 is insufficient, okay, without killing the cells of the roots. So means that the root actually tolerance to the ethanol. Okay, so or as tolerance can have high tolerance of the to the ethanol. So ethanol is toxic, but the cell in the rice root can tolerate much higher level than most of the plant due to the presence of the alcohol dehydrogenase. So it means that you produce 1 kg, I'm going to break down 1 kg. Are you clear? Okay, so it means that this rice plant have the new adaptations that they have a special kinds of alcohol dehydrogenase which can break down the ethanol. So it means that ethanol won't be accumulated until reach a toxic level. Okay, so in this diagram, you can see that the structure of the Aranchyma, okay, which connect the leaf all the way to the root. So that the O2 can diffuse from the leaf to the root, okay, because these spaces actually provide uninterrupted diffusion pathway, right? Perhaps you can write here, okay, uninterrupted diffusion pathway. Okay, for the oxygens to diffuse from the leaf to the root. Okay, so with this, I've done for the anaerobic respiration.